Let's go surfing now, everybody's learning how. Come on a safari with me. Come on a safari with me. Early in the morning we'll be starting out. Some honeys will be baking the scene. I loaded up my woody with the boards on top, and I put on my faded blue jeans, 'cause we're a come on baby, wait to see, yes, I'm gonna take you surfing safari.
This is Kaci here at Bayside Radio, bringing you the morning news. Lots to report. Hope you're strapped in and ready. First, students in Mr. Clark's English class were quite dismayed when he gave them a last-minute homework assignment, which meant they had to cancel their weekend whitewater rafting trip. Really, Mr. Clark? The students felt they should air their feelings in a peaceful protest, so they visited Mr. Clark's car right before he was about to leave the campus.
Hey!
Have a great weekend, Mr. Clark, and hey, way to air your feelings, class. Turning to sports, more bad news. The football team lost again, by a lot. Seems our wonderful quarterback, Mick Johnson, can't make a pass, except, of course, if it's at one of our cheerleaders. Ironic and fun fact, though, Mick is 0 for 9 attempted passes during last week's game, and 0 for 9 attempted passes at the cheerleaders. Mick, have you considered taking up, a different sport, one that doesn't require coordination? The chess clubs meet Tuesday afternoons, Mick, and I'm sure a coach will let you out of practice, as it's obviously not doing you any good. Speaking of cheerleaders, head cheerleader Kimberly Watson is still recovering from her nasty accident resulting from her toss during the game 3 weeks ago. Girls, we love you, but is it really a good idea for the squad to toss Kimberly in the air when a number of you have ADD? You know what comes up must come down, and though it was unfortunate for Kimberly that one of the buff players bent over right at that moment, you have to stay focused long enough to catch her. She's coming along nicely, however, and was well enough to at least attend last week's game. Turning to community news, there was a recent report of a house being toilet papered in Covington Heights. The suspect was caught later that evening. Seems he was so proud of his work, he decided to sign his name on the toilet paper. Not one of Bayside's brightest, and to avoid him further embarrassment, I won't mention his name here. You're welcome, Jim Glathers. Whoops. My bad. Weather-wise, the local outlook looks great. Nice and warm. The warming trend will continue into next week, and sadly, according to climate scientists, for the rest of our lives. Turns out you can have too much of a good thing after all. Friends, our future is being stolen from us, but hey, who needs a future anyway? Last week, our Hayhead leader, also known as President Trump, again claimed that global warming is a Chinese hoax. I doubt the residents of Miami are buying into that theory, as Miami streets are now often underwater. They used to go for a morning walk, now it's a morning slosh. Well, now for my segment, Kaci's Guide to Happy Relationships. But before I take any calls, this week's dating tip. This one's for you guys. We know you love to talk about yourself, and we just love sitting there listening while you explain playback around to a wide receiver or whatever. But, just every now and then you could ask us what we might like to do, or how we're feeling, or just anything. Just every now and then would be nice. Or just take us shopping. Oh look, here's my first call. Hello?
Hi Kaci, how are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you. What's on your mind this morning?
Well, I have a question. My boyfriend says he loves me so much that he's afraid that he'll start to become obsessive and smother me. So he thinks for the sake of our relationship, he should date other girls at least twice a week. He says it will be difficult for him though. Trying to keep all our names straight, keeping track of our different birthdays, which flower's our favorite, and, well, you get the idea, Kaci.
Poor boy.
He wants me to help him, and of course I will. He's being so thoughtful and caring. So, I told him that I would set up a database linked to his calendar. He'll need a new phone to keep all the apps straight, so my question is whether you think I should get him a new iPhone or an Android.
Well, that certainly is a unique dating-related question you have there.
He says he'd feel bad if I spent more than $1,000. Isn't that so sweet?
Yeah. You got a real keeper there, no doubt about it.
I know. I feel so lucky.
I'm wondering, do you see a therapist?
No, why? Do you think a therapist would be able to help?
It's hard to say, but I'd suggest you give one a try.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and you might want to ask her to explain a little bit about gaslighting.
Gaslighting? Is that an app?
No, just ask her anyway. It might help solve your dilemma.
Okay. Thanks, Kaci.
You're welcome. Well, that's something I like about this show. Every day's something different. Remember, listeners, I'm here for you every morning, so make sure to give me a call with your dating questions, and I'll do my best to help. Well, that about does it for today's show. I always like to end on a positive note, so, la. And I'm positive that's a note.
Yes, I'm gonna take surfing with me. Let's go surfing now. Everybody's learning how. Come on a safari with me. Come on a safari with me.